Welcome back, my friend, to another episode of our channel where we bring you the most spine-chilling true crime stories from around the globe. Today, we are delving into the haunting case of Rashied Staggie, a name that sends shivers down the spines of those who have heard it. The question is, what did he do? Why is his name synonymous with fear and dread? What kind of horrors did this man unleash upon the world? And how does his story continue to captivate and terrify us even today? Before we dive into the depths of this terrifying tale, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on our chilling episodes. Let the suspense build as we take you through the twisted reality of Rashied Staggie's crimes. Rashied Staggie, a name that echoes with infamy. Born on November 3, 1968, in the heart of Cape Town, South Africa, Staggie's life was a dark trajectory from the outset. His journey began in the notorious suburb of Hanover Park, an area infamous for gang violence and extreme poverty. This environment would cast a long shadow over Staggie's life, shaping him into the menacing figure he became. By the tender age of 14, Staggie had already embraced the allure of a life of crime. His initial exploits included the art of pickpocketing, a skill he honed to perfection in the bustling city center. As he grew older, his criminal ambitions expanded, leading him to more sinister activities. In the early 1990s, South Africa was a nation grappling with the harsh realities of apartheid. Against this backdrop of racial segregation and inequality, Staggie found himself drawn to the dangerous underworld of gangs. He aligned himself with the notorious Hard Livings Gang, an organization deeply involved in a myriad of illegal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, and violent turf wars. It was within the confines of this gang that Staggie truly transformed into a ruthless criminal. He quickly rose through the ranks, amassing wealth and power at an alarming rate. This rapid ascent was not without its casualties. His rival gangs and even the South African police force fell victim to his cunning and brutality. One incident that sent shockwaves through the community was the audacious bank robbery Staggie orchestrated in 1996, along with his gang members. He stormed a bank in Cape Town's central business district, making off with a substantial amount of money. This daring heist cemented his reputation as a force to be reckoned with, forever etching his name in the annals of infamy. But Staggie's notoriety would reach new heights in the following years, leading to his ultimate downfall and capture. Following his release from prison, Rashied Staggie decided to relocate to the picturesque seaside town of Camps Bay. However, his reputation preceded him, and he soon found himself being eyed by both the police and the media. Despite these watchful eyes, Staggie seemed determined to lead a more subdued life, staying out of the limelight and keeping a low profile. He opened a modest tuck shop and spaza shop in the area, seemingly trying to integrate into the community and rebuild his life. Yet beneath the surface, rumors swirled about his continued involvement in criminal activities. There were whispers of a new gang he had formed, one that posed a significant threat to the fragile peace of the town. As the tension mounted, the police grew suspicious of Staggie's newfound businesses. They believed that his seemingly legitimate shops were merely a front for his illegal operations. The question on everyone's mind was, could they gather enough evidence to bring down Staggie once again? In a dramatic turn of events, the police decided to raid both of Staggie's establishments. What they found would send shockwaves throughout the community. The raids revealed a secret network of tunnels hidden beneath the shops. These underground passages were laden with weapons, ammunition, and drugs, providing undeniable proof of Staggie's continued involvement in criminal activities. It seemed that Staggie had managed to evade the authorities for years, but his luck had finally run out. The news of the raid and the subsequent discovery of the tunnels spread like wildfire through Camps Bay. Residents were shocked and horrified. Realizing the danger they had been living in, the question on everyone's lips was, why had Staggie chosen to return to a life of crime? What had driven him to create such a sophisticated criminal enterprise in the heart of their seemingly peaceful town? As the investigation deepened, the police uncovered a sinister plot that Staggie had been orchestrating. He had used his shops as a front to smuggle drugs into the country, dealing with dangerous international traffickers who had connections to the notorious Russian mafia. The scope of his operation was far-reaching, supplying drugs to various gangs and dealers across Cape Town. With the evidence stacked against him, it was clear that Staggie would be facing serious charges. The community breathed a collective sigh of relief, knowing that justice was being served. But little did they know that this was just the beginning. As the trial commenced, details of Staggie's crimes were laid bare before the court. It became evident that the man they were dealing with was not just a petty criminal, but a mastermind of deceit and violence. During the proceedings, it was revealed that Staggie had bribed several corrupt officials to protect his illegal activities. He had intimidated witnesses, threatening them and their families to keep them from testifying against him. The courtroom was stunned as the extent of his criminal network was exposed. Staggie's defense attorney, however, painted a different picture. He argued that there was not enough concrete evidence to convict his client, and that many of the charges were based on witness testimonies that could not be verified. As the trial dragged on, tensions began to rise in Camps Bay. Residents were growing restless, demanding justice and closure. They had endured years of living under the shadow of fear, and it was taking its toll on their everyday lives. Some residents even called for Staggie to be denied bail, arguing that he posed a threat to their safety and well-being. The pressure was mounting, and the community's anxiety was palpable. After much deliberation and careful consideration of all the evidence presented, the judge delivered a verdict that shook the courtroom to its core. Rashied Staggie was found guilty on all counts. The charges ranged from drug trafficking and extortion to bribery and intimidation. The judge, in a firm and resolute voice, outlined the severity of Staggie's crimes, emphasizing the danger he posed to society. As the verdict was read, a sense of relief washed over the residents of Camps Bay. Finally, justice had been served. However, the battle was not over yet. The sentencing was looming, and the community was eager to see that Staggie faced the maximum penalty for his actions. The defense attorney, in a last-ditch effort to sway the judge, pleaded for leniency, citing Staggie's past contributions to the community and claiming that he had turned his life around since his release from prison. He argued that a lengthy prison sentence would not serve as a deterrent, and that rehabilitation should be the primary focus. But the prosecution was having none of it. They presented a strong case for severe punishment, highlighting the magnitude of Staggie's crimes and the impact they had on the community. The prosecutor emphasized that only a significant prison sentence would send a message that such behavior would not be tolerated. As the debate raged on, the judge weighed the arguments carefully. He understood the gravity of the situation and the need to balance justice with the principles of fairness and equality. When the judge finally spoke, his words echoed with the weight of the law. He sentenced Staggie to multiple lengthy prison terms, each representing a different count of his conviction. The sentences were to be served concurrently, ensuring that Staggie would spend a significant portion of his life behind bars. There was a collective gasp as the full measure of Staggie's punishment was reviewed. But amidst the shock, there was also a sense of satisfaction. Justice had indeed been served. Rashied Staggie was led away in handcuffs, his face betraying a mixture of disbelief and anger. As he disappeared through the prison gates, the residents of Camps Bay could finally begin to heal. The ordeal had been traumatic, but they had endured in triumph. The once peaceful town was slowly coming back to life. The shadow of Staggie's reign of terror lifted. In the aftermath of the trial, the community of Camps Bay came together to rebuild. Support groups were formed to help residents cope with the emotional scars left by Staggie's crimes. Counseling services were made available, offering a safe space for people to share their experiences and seek solace. Graffiti and murals began to adorn the walls, transforming the town's landscape into a canvas of resilience and hope. The colors were vibrant, the messages empowering, a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome even the darkest of times. Camps Bay had endured the nightmare of Rashied Staggie's reign, but it had emerged stronger, more united than ever before. The experience had forged an unbreakable bond among the residents, a shared story that would echo through generations to come. The trial and imprisonment of Rashied Staggie brought a sense of justice and closure to the residents of Camps Bay. After years of living in fear, they could finally move forward with their lives, knowing that the man who had cast a dark cloud over their community was behind bars. The ordeal had been a stark reminder of the dangers that lurked within their midst, but it had also showcased the strength and resilience of the human spirit. As Camps Bay began to heal, the world watched in awe, recognizing that even in the darkest of times, hope and unity could prevail. So what did you think of the most shocking true crime story of 2025? Was it the eerie tale of Rashied Staggie that left you on the edge of your seat? Or did some other case send chills down your spine? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let the discussion begin. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more spine-chilling content. We've got plenty of spine-tingling mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for joining us on this terrifying journey through the world of true crime. Until next time, stay safe and watch your back, because evil can lurk in the shadows.